Hi guys, my name's Deborah. I blog at Housewife Eclectic. I've just joined the live rotation. So every other Monday at 1:30 Eastern, I will be coming to you from Spaceships and Laser Beams. The other Mondays, I'm on Mama Loves Food, and on Fridays, I'm on my own page, which is Housewife Eclectic. So today we are, let me pull this up so I can go ahead and share the link. Today we are making a Harry Potter craft that I love. Hi Francis, so good to see you here. This is one that I made for my little girl, ages ago, maybe a year ago, and she uses as a journal. So this is the cute little monster book that we're making today. It's so easy to make, guys. It's one of the easiest crafts to make. So if you're thinking, I'm not crafty, I can't do that, yes you can. Like, this is super, super, super easy. If you can hold a hot glue gun, you can make this craft. So we made a little bit bigger one here. So hang on, let me grab this link so I can do what I'm supposed to here. This is my very first time coming from, hi Sherry, hi from South Carolina. My sister used to live in South Carolina and I think she misses it every day. She'd go back if she could. I'm a little bit nervous today, guys. This is my first time from Spaceships and Laser Beams. So normally I go live from so on Monday, every other Monday I'm here on Spaceship and Laser Beams. The other Monday I'm live on Mama Loves Food, and every Friday I'm live on my own page, all at the same time, 11:30, well, 11:30 my time, so 1:30 Eastern. I'm in Utah, so kind of right up against the mountain. Like, I'm looking out my front window here and I can see these beautiful mountains. If it wouldn't make you sick, I'd turn you around and you could see these mountains. But so we're here today and we are making a Harry Potter craft for those of you that love Harry Potter. And if you don't, why not? Why don't you love Harry Potter? Seriously, tell me. I'd love to know. So, guys, I can't get it to pull up. Having some struggles here. Always seems to, the day that I can go live and have no technical difficulties, it will be a miracle. At least this one's not as bad as some of the ones I've had before. Okay, we're gonna try it from my laptop. So right now I am just sharing the video before we get started so we can get some people on. So that way, I think I'm gonna make it twice. I have a big book and then I've always wanted to try it on a little teeny notebook. So I have a little teeny notebook too that we're gonna try it on. See, yeah, I've never, like, I've done this big one, and then I've done kind of a medium-sized one, but I really want to try it on, where'd my little notebooks go? Oh, here they are, on little teeny ones. I'm not sure how well it will do, because I think it will hold the book open a lot, but we'll see. So we are big, huge Harry Potter fans in our house, like huge Harry Potter fans. The only thing I think that trumps Harry Potter is Doctor Who. So you'll probably see me here live doing some crazy Doctor Who stuff in a few weeks. We love, we're big Comic-Con people. I know we're a little crazy in this house. My kids love Comic-Con. My husband's so not a Comic-Con person, which is fine. But we always just joke that my best friend loves to go to Comic-Con with me, and we joke that I found her so that he doesn't have to go with me because he just couldn't do it. So, okay. I think I finally got it, guys. I think we can finally start. Be impressed. Because I'm impressed. Did I do it? Oh, shoot! No, I didn't. Guys. Gosh. Struggles. So, if you're just joining me, we are making Harry Potter Monster Book of Monsters journals. So you could, honestly, you could do this to any book you wanted. I thought about doing it too. I have this problem. Whenever I go to a thrift store and I see copies of Harry Potter in the thrift store, I can't leave them. It just feels wrong that they're at the thrift store. So I usually end up bringing them home with me. So I have random extra copies of, hi Christina from Washington State. I'm actually headed your way in just a few weeks. We are, my oldest brother lives in Seattle. They live in Gig Harbor. But yeah, it's gonna be, we used to go up to Oregon all the time when I was a kid because that's where my dad's from. So we're taking our kids up there for the first time and I'm really excited. We're gonna go do all the things that I did as a kid. I don't know if you've ever heard of Enchanted Forest. It's kind of this awesome, lame theme park, but I'm excited because that's where I grew up hanging out. Okay, you guys ready for this? I feel like I need to start singing the song after I say ready for this. Okay, so those of you just joining us, we are making monster books of monsters. They're so easy. If you think you're not crafty, like you can totally make this. It's not hard at all. You can pull it together. I'm not even sure. I have a backup craft here that we might end up having to do because that's how easy this is. Like it's gonna go fast. Oh, Christina, you live 15 minutes from Kid Carter. I'm so excited. I've never been that. I mean, I've been to Seattle and Oregon and stuff because that's what we grew up doing. But I've never been up to Gig Harbor, so I'm really excited to see their new house. And so my brother owns 2 orthodontics practices up there. He's an orthodontist, so I'm excited. I'm kind of hoping I can convince him to fix my teeth, but who knows? So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna make the big one first. I feel like this size or the medium size are the easiest to make. This one, so this one's my daughter's journal. She's 8. You can see her cute little drawings inside. I'm not going to show you the rest because, you know, journal. But, so cute little, so this is her journal. And then this one, this big one, we actually use, so I don't know if you can read what she's written inside. This is our mommy-daughter journal. I don't know if you've heard of the idea of, see, like I write on one side and she writes on the other. And that's actually been really, really good for our relationship to have this place where we can talk to each other. And I don't know about you, but my husband and I are both writers. I have a degree in photography and writing. And I don't know, I express myself better in writing than I do talking. So I like to, writing I think helps both of us talk to each other a little bit better. So if you've ever considered doing like a mommy child journal, I think it's been fantastic for us. Sometimes I fall behind and wish I did it a little bit more. There are some weeks where we switch it back and forth between us every single day, and there are some weeks where I forget and we only do it like once a week. But it's been really helpful. There's some things that I think your kids are, you know, embarrassed to tell you, or things like that. That having the parent journal has really helped, you know, ease some of those transitions. Oh, from Honduras! Wow! Thank you for joining us. I would say your name, but I'm so scared I'm gonna slaughter it. Is it Maria Elena? Okay, there we go. That looks right. If it's not, I'm sorry. Okay, so I've included links to pretty much everything I'm using up in the description. There's also a link to my page up there. So if you want to be able to join me on Fridays, we do a lot of crafts. Might do some cooking in the future. We'll see. But I don't know. This is my area. I'm comfortable doing the crafts, so that's what we're gonna do. And I do a lot of, if you are, you know, a fan person, I do a lot of Harry Potter, a lot of Doctor Who. Those are my big fandoms. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I do some Disney too, because, you know, Disney. But so the first thing you are gonna need is you're gonna need a journal, and you want it hardback. You don't. So I am gonna try with these little composition books a little bit later in the show to see if we can make those work. I've never done it with something that little before, so it'll be an experiment that you're doing with me. Christina, you do a parent journal with your girls, is that what you're saying? I love it. So these ones are soft, so we're gonna try a little bit later and see how those turn out. But my experience has been that the hard books do really well. So that's what we're gonna do first. So you can see me succeed before you see me fail, maybe. So I've got a couple of different sizes here. This one's a little bit softer, but still sturdy. This one's really sturdy. So we're going to go ahead and do it with this one first. I might make this, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I have 2 kids. So my oldest is 8, so we do the parent journal with her. And then my youngest is 3, so she's not at the point where she could write. She could probably draw me pictures, but not write. So you need a hardback journal, and you need fur fabric. So you can get fur fabric at pretty much any store that sells fabric. So you're gonna have better luck at like a Joann's, someplace that sells like actual fabric by the yard. I bought this by the yard, so you can see that there's a ton of it. If you look up in the description, there's a link to one on Amazon. I think that's like 12 by 15. So just make sure when you buy your fabric that you have enough to cover the entire book. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this out. And I have, I like to, fur fabric can be a little bit pricey. So I usually like to always, whenever I'm at the fabric store, I always check and find the remnants. And remnants are always a little bit cheaper. They're like a 30% discount or something, sometimes 50%, depends on the. So I've got brown and I've got black fabric, fur fabric here today. I've seen white, I've seen all sorts of things. So I think for the monster, to give it that monster-y feel, you're gonna want the brown or the black. But it's your book, you can do whatever you want. So I've got my fabric, I've got sewing scissors. These are good fabric scissors. It's going to be a little harder to do this project if you just use your regular scissors. I mean, it's not impossible, of course, but I always like having good fabric scissors. These are the scissors that if my husband cuts paper with, he gets in trouble. So we are going to lay this out like this. So you are just going to lay it first side down. Can you see really well? The comments get in the way and I can never tell what you guys can see. I think you can. Okay, so hardcover book. Fur fabric, fur down. So we are just gonna, I'm gonna scoot the fur all the way up so that my book is on the very edge of the fabric, because like I said, this can get kind of pricey. I don't want to waste it. So we've got the book all the way on the edge of the fabric, and then you are gonna open it. So all the way to the corner, not all the way to the corner, almost to the corner. So you make sure you have your hot glue gun plugged in. I've just got mine sitting here on a plate. I just bought a plate at a thrift store and I use it to hold my glue gun all the time, which is nice. Yes, Lorene is saying she thinks fabric scissors are so worth the investment. Well, and they last a really long time. So I've had the same pair. I mean, I've obviously had to have them sharpened and things like that, but I've had the same pair for about 10 years, and I treat them really well, and keep paper cutters away from my scissors. So we're all the way to the corner here. So the edge of my fabric's here and here. You want just enough that you can turn it over into the thing. Let me show you on the finished one. So this, you see how much of it is turned in. So you just need a lip to turn in to your book, and then we are just going to cut around it. I always cut a little bit more than I need and then trim down, because you can always trim more. You can't really add the fabric back on. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut. So I'm actually sitting up. So we live in a 3-generation household. My mom just needed a little bit more help during the day than she had, so they asked us to move in with them. And so I'm actually upstairs where they live right now, and I'm sitting at my mom's dining room table. She told me if I cut her tablecloth that she would end me. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold this over and put it in the side so we can use it for another book later. We might try that black fabric. So here we go. I've got a nice good rectangle of fur fabric. You see it sheds pretty bad. I've got like little fluffies all over the place. So okay, so we're gonna put our hardcover notebook in the center of this. Hi Maria, good of you to turn in. So we are actually just gonna glue right over this pen loop. You can try and make it work around it. I've never successfully made it work around the pen loop, so I'm just going to glue right over it. So we are going to start on the front side, and we are just going to take our hot glue. Okay, it's not quite ready for a refill. And you're just going to go, can you see this? Go on the edge. Just go on the edge, glue, glue. Fold over your fabric. So I like to glue right on the edge of the notebook to get it to fold over well, and then we're going to go ahead and glue again right here. You can see because of the way that this book is made, it doesn't matter if you've cut it particularly straight because we're going to do a lot of trimming up, but if you want to straighten out this edge right here, that one it'll be inside the book, so it'll kind of show. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue again. If you're just joining us, we are making monster books of monster journals from Harry Potter. Okay, so we've glued in that edge. So now, look how sharp that looks on the outside right there. Okay, so we are going to go ahead, and before you start folding over and gluing the top, you want to glue the other side. So I'm going to flip this over, and we are going to glue right on the edge first. And I'm just going to flip that pen thing in. Right on the edge first. Secure that really well. There we go. And then we are going to glue at the edge of the fabric this time to get it to stay really well. If you guys are just joining, I'm Deborah from Housewife Eclectic. I do a lot of geeky crafts, lots of Harry Potter, lots of Doctor Who. Good place to find those fun things. So right on the edge of the fabric there, and secure down. This is such... Hi Jamie, it's good to see you here. This is such an easy craft. If you feel like you're not a crafter, like I promise you this is still something that you can do. It's pretty much just hot gluing. I mean, there's fabric involved, but there's no sewing involved. So super, super easy. So now our book looks like this. So it's covered, but there's lots of extra edges here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to go through and we are going to trim down this side, the top and bottom edges of the book. Make sure I don't cut my mom's tablecloth so I don't lose my life here. Okay, so you don't want to trim it completely. You could trim it completely. On this one, this was the very first one I made. I didn't fold over the ends. I just, if you look at it, they're just hot glued together on the ends. So that's one way to make it. I prefer the way that this looks. So I'm going to show you how to do it this way. Okay, so you see how there's going to be all this extra fabric right here in the corner. So we are just going to take this and we're going to snip, snip, cut away some of that extra fabric and then hot glue. So for this part, you are just going to pull up from the bottom and glue, and pull up from the bottom. So pull up all the way till you reach the fold of the book, and then stop gluing and flip the pages. Okay, so hot glue, hot glue. Tell me where you guys are tuning in from. Tell me if you're a Harry Potter fan, and if not, tell me why. Because I'm not sure I believe you. Okay, so you see how I'm just folding up and gluing, folding up and gluing. But do not fold up and glue past the center of the book or your book's not going to open and close. So I blog a lot about, I said Doctor Who and Harry Potter. Actually, in my house, guys, I have, see, it sheds a lot. You see all that around my glue gun? I have a full Harry Potter Christmas tree and a full Doctor Who Christmas tree. And then I have a normal Christmas tree because my husband thinks my trees are ridiculous. Okay, so we have glued to the center of the book. We're going to flip it all the way around and do it again. You want to give this a little bit of time to dry, or else if you close your book and then try and do the other side, it's going to stick a little bit. Hi, Corey. You know what, Corey? I do actually have kids. I have two that one of the big reasons I actually stay home is because I actually take care of my mom. So she's getting up there in years. If she heard me say that, she'd throw a conniption fit. But about 2 years ago, my parents kind of realized that my mom needed help during the day, that, you know, when my dad wasn't there, when he was doing his job. And so they called my husband and I up and asked us to move in with them. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I stay home, is to be with my mom, which I love, my kids love, and I think she loves, because she ends up with 2 kiddos around. So I just trimmed the other side of that fabric, and then I'm going to do that diagonal trim on the corner again. That's actually, so I have a 3-year-old, and she is with her, my kids call her Grandma Nina instead of Nana. Not sure where it came from, but it kind of stuck. So she's with her Nina right now. But you know what, Corey? I don't understand why people give you grief about that. I mean, I think it's super silly. Do what makes you happy. Do what you like. And, you know, especially awesome if you can do what makes you happy. I feel pretty lucky that I get to do Harry Potter crafts a lot of the day. Okay, you see how I have secured that down? It's all in. So we're going to give that just a second to dry up a little bit, and then we're going to flip it over and do it to the other side. So those of you that are just joining us, oh no, Corey, you didn't offend me either way. Like, I totally get that. You know, people are funny. People will always find something to say, you know, something about. Like, my kids are, my oldest is 8 and my youngest is 3. So they're actually about 6 years apart. And people comment on that all the time. And I'm always like, it worked for us. Why do you care? It doesn't have anything to do with you. So now we're going to flip it over. Phil, make sure that that's dry so it's not going to stick to your pages. So now we're going to flip it. No, Terry, it's good to see you. Since you're just joining us, we are making Monster Book of Monster Journals. They are so easy to make. Even if you feel like you're not crafty, you can totally do this. So there's a smaller version, bigger version. We're going to try a tiny version here in a minute. It might be a massive fail. We'll see. So I've already glued this side down. Remember we did that earlier. If you are just joining us and you want to see the beginning of this, you are welcome to go ahead and share this video to your wall, and then when it's done, you'll be able to go back and skip around and see what you need. I also am going to make another one, a little one, so if you want to stick around for that. So now we are just going to glue this edge. Actually, I need to cut, so diagonal cut the very corner, and then wrap up. Whew! I cannot tell you how many times I have burned myself in hot glue in my life. It's a lot. I do a lot of stuff with hot glue. So this craft takes quite a bit of hot glue, so you are going to want to have quite a bit on hand. I mean, it's not as much as, I have a backup craft here just in case we don't fill our entire hour to start. And that one takes a lot of hot glue. So we're just folding this around. Dang it. Ooh. Ouch. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Patricia. Hey, Kaylee. You know, you can do a composition notebook. Kaylee wants to know if it has to be hardcover. So my best results have been with hardcovers, but you could definitely do a composition notebook. I just wouldn't do a spiral notebook. I don't think a spiral notebook is going to work out really well. I haven't tried it myself. I mean, you obviously could try it, but I think with how you're hot gluing and things like that, I don't think it would do very well. But a regular composition notebook, I think would work fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and diagonal cut this corner again. This is just a, whoop, I cut that one a little bit too much. You see how let's see if we can fix it. Oh, well, darn it. So that's why you don't want to diagonal cut too much. I'm gonna see if we can't add a little bit. The fur is a little bit forgiving when it comes to mistakes, which makes this a great, easy craft. I mean, I have actually done this craft with my 8-year-old, and she did a great job. So it's all about easy in this house. Okay, so we are gonna fold this last one over. So, and then this book's like most of the way done, guys. We you know, we have to add the tongue and the teeth, but like the actual fur part is all done. So you see that, whew, guys, burning myself all over the place today. Good thing it's a low temp gun, huh? So I find my journals, a lot of times they're like $5 at Target, or, I mean, composition, if you wait until school starts, you can get composition notebooks, the big ones, for like 25 cents a piece, so that is a fantastic deal for something like this. My goal, so we did this awesome Harry Potter party for my daughter when she turned 8. In where we live, 8's like a big, huge birthday, so we went ahead and threw her this big, huge, crazy party. And I turned my dining room into the Great Hall, which was kind of awesome. And so I'm just going to glue an extra piece of fur on here to kind of cover up where I nicked it. So I turned my dining room into the Great Hall, which my kids loved. We made potion necklaces. We played Quidditch. If you want to see, I have posts on all of that on my blog. It's all on there if you ever want to throw a Harry Potter party. But my plan was to have every one of these kids make a book. And then, you know, just thinking about all the stuff that I wanted to do. We wanted to make potion necklaces. We wanted to, you know, have charms class and all that stuff. We decided to skip that part and, you know, do other things, and I'm still kind of sad we didn't do it because they are so easy and so fun. Okay, so there we go, our fur covered book. Next thing we are going to do is we are going to make teeth and a tongue for our book. See, that fur is just shedding like crazy. Okay, so you're just going to need a white felt sheet and a red felt sheet, or I tend to buy my felt by the yard just because I use a lot of felt. It's one of those things about crafting with your kiddos. Felt's easy, and so you use a lot of felt. I like felt. Oh, Lorene says she likes getting the sketchbooks at Michael's when they're 50 to 60% off. That sounds great. In fact, I think that's where this one came from. So you need red felt, white felt. You can usually, if just like even at Walmart or anywhere, they usually sell felt by just like the small sheets. They're usually about $1. So I usually buy my felt by the yard just because, like I said, I use a lot of it. So the felt is pretty cheap and easy to come by, so that shouldn't be a problem. So we are going to cut. You are going to cut like a long, skinny rectangle for the tongue. Let me show you the inside of this tongue so that you can. So long, skinny rectangle for the tongue. And then we'll fork it after we cut the rectangle. Long, skinny rectangle. So is it warm or cold where you guys are today? It kind of keeps going back and forth here, and it's a little irritating. I'm just ready for it to be warm all the time, especially since, so we are lucky enough to have a pool, which, by the way, is a little bit ridiculous in Utah because you use it for like 3 months out of the year. But my kids are excited. The pool man is supposed to come and like get it all ready. We have just a guy that comes and gets it ready and then closes it up at the end of the season. And they're super excited, but it's supposed to get cold, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. It's warm in Oklahoma, Terry. I've never been to Oklahoma. That's on my list of places to go. A lot of my husband's family's from there. So long, skinny rectangle. Yeah, so Corey says that she loves the idea of a shared journal. So if you guys are just tuning in, I was talking earlier about how this one right here is my daughter's and I's shared journal. Usually I write on one side and she writes on the other. And it's been so good for our relationship. And the really fun thing about it is I've kind of set it up so that she can ask me questions and I can ask her questions. And so it's made it so that it's this really open experience between the two of us. And, you know, there's fun. Sometimes we have 2 girls, but I grew up in a house with, I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers. So there were 6 of us, 3 girls and 3 boys. And a lot of her questions want to know what it's like to have a brother. So I think it's always fun that we, you know, we get to ask each other those questions. So here's our fur cover book. It's 80 in Arkansas. Ooh, 80, my favorite temperature is like 76. So long skinny rectangle. Then we are gonna fork it. So easiest way to fork it is flip it in half. And then I always, every single time I go to fork something, I have to think about which way I have to cut it. Okay, so you want to cut into the fold to get a fork. Into the fold. So just cut a triangle out, and then you've got a nice little fork tongue. So we are going to hot glue him on, but first we are going to make our teeth. So the teeth are like a long rectangle, not as long as your tongue, maybe just a regular size rectangle. You see how it was, and then we made the teeth jagged. So tell me, you guys, what you are up to this week. We are so close to school being out. My little 8-year-old cried this morning and said she didn't think she could make it 2 more weeks. We just have 2 more weeks, little one. 60 in Wisconsin. Oh, Corey, you are living in my husband's dream state. You, like, every single time we are planning a vacation, he's like, we could go to Wisconsin. Like, let's go to Wisconsin. And there's sometimes where I'm like, honey, it's not football season. Wouldn't do you any good. Like, so he's a huge Green Bay fan. So go ahead and cut your rectangle out of that white. He's a huge, which is funny. I'm not sure why he latched on to the Packers, but he's been a Packers fan as long as I've known him. So rectangle, and then we are going to, oh, Shonda, I hope he's doing so good. Pins, oh, pins surgery. That just sounds painful. Is he doing okay? Shonda just said her husband just had surgery. So now you're just gonna cut triangles out of the teeth, the white here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Terry says that her daughter's acting like 9 more days is 20 years. She's a school teacher. And you know what? My husband used to teach school, and it's so funny. They have like all this stamina for teaching school until like they hit May and they're done. Like he would hit May and he'd be like, I just don't want to go to school anymore. I'd be like, you have to go. You're the teacher, honey. We lived in Texas for a long time, and he taught school while we were down there. But he actually doesn't teach anymore. He does public relations for a healthcare system now, which he likes a lot. Teaching, I think, just started to wear on him after a while. It was so hard to, you know, there's a lot of red tape and stuff, and it's hard. Sometimes you just want to be able to teach. Oh, Becky, these would be so perfect for your daughter for her birthday. They're so easy, super easy to make. Anybody can make them. Hot glue, no sewing. Oh no, Shonda says his ankle shifted. Darn it. That's the worst. Shonda, how old is he? Is he handling it okay? Dawn says it's 85 to 88 in Texas. Where in Texas? I am like a Texas fanatic. We lived in Texas for 3.5 years, and loved it. Okay, so fur covered notebook. Then we've got the inside. We've got our tongue, our teeth, and we are gonna. You can really glue them any way you want. I like to glue my teeth down first. So make sure you're on the front cover of your notebook, or your mouth on your face is your mouth on your monster book is gonna be the same. That's such a rough age to have such a big surgery. My 3-year-old has been having a really hard time. She is having her tonsils out and getting tubes in her ears in a couple of weeks, and I'm nervous. I hope she handles. That's nothing like getting pins though. So you're just gonna glue these teeth to the edge of the book, just like that. And then tongue is gonna go right behind it. Oh, awesome, Dawn. You know, I've never been up that area. When we lived in Texas, we lived all the way to the border, all the way to the Gulf. We lived right by South Padre Island, and it was so beautiful. So beautiful. 90 in North Carolina. Ooh, that's a hot day. I'm not sure that I'm quite ready for 90 days. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you glue the tongue up where it's going to show behind the teeth, like that. So let that dry for a minute, make sure there's no threads so it won't stick to anything. There we go. We're covered, teeth, tongue. Now the next part is the eyes. So you need half marbles. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like little clear pebbles. You want the ones without the iridescent shimmer on them. Yeah, Sean, I hope she does too. I'm nervous that they're doing, they're doing my daughter's tonsils and tubes at the same time. So I'm nervous that they're doing them two procedures at once, but we didn't want to have to put her under twice. So they're doing them both at once. So they said to expect a really rough recovery, but hopefully once it's done, she won't get sick so much anymore and life will be a little bit easier. So you need half Pebbles for the eyes. If you use half Pebbles, you're going to need Mod Podge as well. I've linked to all that stuff up in the comments. Up in the description so you can find it. I've linked to fur. I felt like the fur that I found on Amazon was a pretty good deal if you want to check that out. I couldn't find my half Pebbles this morning. Of course I couldn't. So I am using necklace Pebbles. So they're the kind of things that you put in like a bottle cap pendant. I don't like these as well. They're not as, can you see how these ones have a lot bigger bubble to them? So I love these ones because they have a bigger bubble. So if you can find the half Pebbles, use those for sure. Or on one of our smaller books, I found these awesome like eyes from, I think they were in like the doll section, like, you know, the doll parts and stuff in a craft store. So I'm going to use those two on our smaller ones. So what you're going to want to do is you want orange paper, yellow paper, something bright, something fun, and a Sharpie. So you are just going to, I'm going to put another piece of paper under this because my mom said if I ruin her tablecloth, she will kill me. And I wouldn't put it past her. So you are just going to draw a long oval and fill it in. Okay, let's see if I did it the right size. So the nice thing about the half Pebbles is since they're not sticky on the back, you can kind of measure and stuff, you know, and see as you're doing it. These ones, since I'm using necklace bubbles, they are sticky on the back. So the second I set it down, I'm not going to be able to pick it up again. So I'm just going to peel that off the paper. So if you were using half Pebbles, you would draw on the paper and then you would take a thing of Mod Podge, stick it on the back of the pebble, stick it on top, let that dry. So I've got my little pebble here. Yep, that looks good. So I'm just going to drop it on top of my thing. You want 2 or 3 eyes. You could do 1 eye. It's your monster. I like the look of 3. This one's just got 2. This one over here's got 3. So you want to find a smooth paper. I did these eyes with a texture paper and I just don't like, they're cute, but I like the ones without the texture paper more. So I'm going to do a couple more eyes here. So just long circle. What time are we at? Just want to make sure I have enough time to make that little book too. Stick that. Oops, I put those too close together. You're going to need them far enough apart that you can cut around them. Long circle, color in. Stick that eye over top of it. Long circle, color in. Oval, it's not really a circle. So, for those of you just joining us, I'm Deborah from Housewife Eclectic. I'm live here on Spaceships and Laser Beams every other Monday at 1:30 Eastern. The other Monday, I'm live on Mama Loves Food at the same time. And then every Friday, I'm live from my own page, Housewife Eclectic, at 1:30 Eastern. So, go ahead and drop. Okay, guys. I'm going to have to grab another pair of scissors. I just realized the only pair of scissors I have right here is my fabric scissors. And I'm not cutting paper with my fabric scissors. So, give me 10 seconds. Hey guys, super frustrating. I have that was totally Facebook's bad. Our feed was good, everything was good, and Facebook just decided they hated us. So we are going to go ahead and I want you to be able to finish this project. So I'm going to show you the end of it. So we've just got our eyes here. We're just cutting them out. Super sorry about that, guys. Facebook just really hates me. I even thought it was my phone, everything. I went and bought a new phone to make sure that it wasn't me, and it's not me, it's Facebook. So sorry about that. So we're just cutting our eyes out. I'm so glad that you guys are jumping back on. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why Facebook does that sometimes. It's very frustrating. It always seems to do it to me too. Okay, so we're cutting those eyes out, and then we'll quickly we have about 15 minutes left in our show, so we'll quickly make the other book. We'll see if the little teeny tiny ones will work. Okay, cut those eyes out. Okay, there we go. 3 little eyes. We're just going to use our hot glue and hot glue them right into the center of our book. Just like that. Kind of push them into that fur. Okay, we did it, guys. There we go. Cute little monster book. So we're gonna add that to our stack. Now we only have a few minutes left, so we are gonna try and really quick, fast make this little one, because I want to see if the little one's gonna hold up. So this is just a little teeny mini composition book. We're just gonna grab our fur again. I swear, one day I will get through an entire show without a technical difficulty. Maybe. We'll see. It's very frustrating because, you know, I've had times where it was my fault that there was a technical difficulty, but a lot of times it's just Facebook. So, to the corner, you want to measure it out like this. Can you guys see? So you want the whole book out. So, cut around. So I've never done one this small before. We'll see how it works out. Okay, so we are just going to hot glue inside the cover. So Lorraine's thinking we should trim the edges instead of fold it. I'm thinking I might do I'm going to do a small fold, I think, here. And then I'm going to trim the edges on the bottom and the top. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm glad some of you are finding us again. That dang Facebook just hates us today. So I'm going to fold on the inside and the back side of the cover, and then I'm going to trim the edges. Okay, right here, inside, outside of the cover. And I'm not gonna fold. If you wanna see how to do fold the top edges in, you can go back to the other video and see that part of the live show. Because this one I'm just gonna trim the edges because it's such a small book. I don't think it could handle that much fur inside of it. Okay, so now we've got the edges down. We are just going to trim all the way to the top now. Got myself good that time. So all the way to the top edge. Just like that. So now you can go ahead and I'm just going to leave it like that. It'll make it a little bit easier. So now we're just going to cut out a little mini tongue, little mini teeth out of the red felt. So that one, this is a lot easier if you decide to not fold over the top and the bottom into the book. Hey, thanks Lorraine for sharing that first video. I'm not sure what crashed with Facebook. It just, one day it will decide it loves me. So we just are covering this little teeny monster book in fur. So we just finished this one. So this is our big one that we just did with orange eyes, tongue, teeth, wrapped in fur. So then we are going to need a long rectangle of felt. Rectangle of felt. Cut that out. Dang, guys, I burned myself good. It actually really hurts. Okay, so long rectangle of felt. This actually might be too long for this little book, so let's trim it down. So if you guys want to see how to make the big book, you can go ahead and find the first video that Lorraine just linked to in the comments. Click on that. It'll take you from the beginning and everything like that. So we're going to go ahead and fork it. So fold it in half. And then you are going to want to cut into the fold. If you cut away from the fold, it's going to make a point instead of a fork. So cut into the fold. So now we've got a forked tongue. And we're going to go ahead and measure that and see if that looks good in there. I think it does look good in there. Cute little tongue. Then we are going to go ahead and make some teeth. So you need just kind of a rectangle of white felt right here. If you don't have a lot of white, you don't have a lot of felt on hand, you can go ahead and go to like, usually even Walmart has it, and they're usually like 25 cents for a sheet. Lorraine says I should try the hot glue gun thimble protectors. The problem is I burned myself right here. So that wouldn't really work. But, so you've got your white felt, and you're gonna go ahead and just point the teeth here. So you're just cutting little triangles into the felt. So cut your triangles into the felt. Now we have teeth, tongue, and we are going to hot glue those into the inside of the book. Then I will answer any questions that you may have about these. I'm really sorry about the split video, guys. Facebook hates me. So we are going to go ahead and glue the teeth in first. Just a strand of glue up there on the top. And glue it to the inside. This little miniature monster book turned out so good, guys. I did not think it was going to. I think if we had folded the top edges over and the bottom edges like we did with the big book, which looks so good with the big book, I don't think it would have worked on this little book. So I'm glad we just trimmed up those edges. So string of hot glue on the tongue, add it behind the teeth. There we go. Cute little monster book. It turned out so cute. So this was the size that I wanted to do. I was telling everyone earlier a little bit about my daughter's Harry Potter party. We turned our dining room into the Great Hall and everything. This was the size I wanted to make at her party. But then we ended up doing some potions class and stuff. So I will walk you through making the eyes one more time, even though I'm going to use these little eyes that I found in the like the doll making section of the craft store. So orange paper, yellow paper, something brightly colored. You are going to take black Sharpie and you are going to draw a long oval and fill it in. Then you are going to take your half pebble and you are going to coat the back of it with Mod Podge. I like matte. You can use gloss. I just think it takes away from the design. So just use a foam brush, dip it in the Mod Podge. Dip it on the back of the flat pebble and then stick the flat pebble on top of that big oval. Okay, and then let that dry, cut them out, and then you're going to hot glue them onto your book just like we hot glued these ones on. So you can do as many eyes as if you wanted. In fact, let's do a couple more eyes on this one. That'll be fun. I'll walk you through making the eyes again. So long oval, color it in. So if you have missed anything from this video, you want more information, I do have a post linked up in the description that has a walkthrough of it. It also has a quick kind of tasty style video of how to do this. So if you have questions, you can refer to that. So I'm gonna put that on here. So you can make as many eyes as you want. 1 eye, 2 eyes, 3 eyes, 5. I think we're gonna do 5 for this book. So I am not doing the Mod Podge method, which is what I would actually prefer to do. I think it works better, but I couldn't find my half pebbles this morning, so I am doing, I am using the bottle cap tops that you make a necklace with. So, okay. So I'm gonna cut these out. And then we're gonna add a few more eyes to this book. Be super cute. Thanks, Becky. We are Harry Potter obsessed in our house, so all the things, Harry Potter, all the things. And if we're not gonna Harry Potter all the things, Doctor Who all the things. That's kind of the motto we live by in this house. Okay, so cut them out. You wanna get the paper all trimmed off, or it's not gonna look as cute on the book. Okay, so now we have this one. We'll get this one trimmed off. Yes, I now have a whole family. We have 4 people in our family, and I now have 4 monster books. So I think there's one for everyone. You get a monster book. You get a monster book. I am kind of obsessed with this baby monster book, guys. It is stinking adorable. Okay, so we are gonna finish up this eye. So now we have 2 extra eyes, and then you just hot glue them onto the book. So I just hot glue that one. Hot glue that one. So now this little monster book has 5 eyes. This would be super fun to do with your grandkids. I've done this with my nieces before, and they absolutely loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and put these blue eyes on the little books, and then I will show you all 4 of the ones I've got up here so that you can kind of see the different styles of how you can do this. If you want to know how to make it, if you're just joining us, there is a second video that's linked into the comments. That was like the first 45 minutes of the show before Facebook kicked us off because it's just rude today. So if you want to go back and find that, I will link to it in the comments again as soon as I'm off the show. Okay. Oh my gosh, he's adorable with his blue eyes, guys. Look how adorable he is. He's so cute. Okay, so let me show you the different ones I have before we're off. So I like to do hardcover journals. I think they hold up better. I just did this one with a mini composition notebook. It's super, super cute. I love it. I think it's going to lay flat and everything. So if you want to know how to do the mini one, that's in this video. So we have this big one. This is that one. So then I did another one. This is the one that we made today. It's got 5 eyes on it now. And then this is my daughter's cute one. This is the very first one I ever made. And it's still probably one of my very favorites. It turned out so cute. She wanted we were headed somewhere. Where were we? Oh, we were headed to Disneyland last year. And she wanted a fun notebook to you know, journal all of her stuff. So that's her little journal. And then this is the cute little mini one that we just made, and I just love him. I wish I had more of these blue eyes. I had to give him 2 more eyes. So it turned out so cute, guys. So do you guys have any questions on how to make those monster books? I love, love, love how they all turned out. So we've got big, little. So I'm just going to give you a rundown on some of the questions that have been asked during the show. You do probably want a hardcover journal. A soft cover, a more soft one like a composition book will work great. You just don't want a spiral bound notebook. Then you need to get fur fabric. You just need to make sure that the fur fabric is big enough to cover the entire notebook when it's laid flat out. So if you're making little notebooks, you won't need as much as if you make a big journal like this one. So then for the eyes, you need the half pebbles and Mod Podge. And a black Sharpie and like orange or yellow paper, whatever you know what, Sherry, I have a ton of Harry Potter crafts. If you want to get onto my website, or if you want to like my Facebook page, which is up in the description of Housewife Eclectic, you'll see a lot of the Harry Potter crafts that I share. Or if you want to get straight onto my website and search for Harry Potter I have a lot of Harry Potter crafts. We do. In fact, I have a couple. This is my backup. Was my backup craft that I might do for you guys next time. So I turned makeup brushes into Harry Potter ones, which is super fun. I love them. So if you want to go ahead and get on my site, you can see I've got wands on there. Everyone needs a wand. If I tell you I have full Harry Potter robes, will you judge me? So there's wands on there, all sorts of fun things like that. So you can find all of that. And I will be live here from Spaceship and Laser Beams, not next Monday, but the Monday after that. Next Monday, I will be live from Mama Loves Food, probably doing Harry Potter or Doctor Who, depending on how I'm feeling at the time. So thank you guys for joining us, and I will see you guys later. Have a good day.